AM 1220 KHTS. We're speaking with Dr. Shelley Feldman from Prima Pediatrics. She can go to primapediatrics.net for more information, or you can give them a call, 424-9000, located on Via Princesa, right across from Costco there in that shopping center there. So, and we want to talk about, we were talking about some things earlier, but now we want to shift gears. It's pouring rain outside at the time of this interview, and then we need to talk about preparing. It's California, so sometimes you're like, oh, when is winter going to come?
It came,
but I think it's here. And so, how do we need to prepare? Maybe we're a little late on this, but how do we prepare our kids for wintertime?
Well, number one, get your flu shots. And then number two, get your flu shots.
Okay.
And number three, get your flu shots.
Flu shots, okay.
Okay. Now, everybody says, well, every time I get a flu shot, I get sick and all the kids get sick. Well, sure, of course you do. It isn't because of the flu shot, because when is it that you get your flu shot? Flu season.
Okay.
And it takes 2 to 4 weeks for the immune system to beef up to be able to work after the shot.
Ah.
So, if you get sick right after your flu shot, it has nothing to do with the shot. It has to do with the fact that you got it too late.
Okay.
Okay. So don't worry about that. And by the way, you can't get flu from the actual shot itself. You cannot.
Because
it's a killed vaccine.
Yeah.
You can theoretically get a mild case if you get the nasal flu vaccine. I haven't ever seen a case that was severe at all with nasal flu vaccine, but it's theoretically possible. However, they say that the nasal flu vaccine is a much, much better vaccine in terms of prevention and in terms of the community as a whole. I don't care which way you do it, just get your flu shot. So that's the first thing, because kids are the repositories of flu. In fact, adults are not. And do it even if you think your kid's not going to get the flu. Oh, my kid's never gotten the flu, and we never got flu shots. Well, when I was a kid, we drove in cars without seatbelts on, too, and I never got into an accident. That doesn't mean that I should ever drive now without a seatbelt, guys.
That's a good analogy.
However, the important issue is because the kids are the reservoir of influenza, it means that if they see grandma or grandpa, it's grandma or grandpa is going to end up in the hospital and dying from the flu.
That's bad, yeah.
Or if they see the new baby, it's the new baby who's going to die of the flu.
Gotcha.
So you need to do this because you care about everybody else, including your own kid. So that's number one. Flu shots.
Flu shots.
Okay. Number two, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands, and wash your hands. And then if you forgot, wash your hands again.
Okay.
Pretend
so
you have OCD.
Is there a limit? Can you wash your hands too much in the wintertime?
Actually, you probably can.
Okay.
That is an issue. And I deal with it all the time because in my profession, I wash my hands dozens and dozens of times a day. I wash them before I see a patient. I wash them after I've seen the patient. It's kind of a habit with me, thank goodness. But yeah, do my hands get dry and flaky and sometimes cracked? Yeah. So what happens is you need to use some kind of Vaseline or something if you see it's getting too dry.
Okay.
With the kids, use the gel if you can't. Not being near a sink isn't always possible. So carry the
antibacterial
gel
stuff. And that is if you have access to a sink, do that. But if you don't, use that, right?
That is correct.
Washing your hands with water and soap is ideal when it comes to washing your hands.
It is. But the one thing that's very interesting is for a while there we thought alcohol wasn't really worth it. Well, guess what? The only thing that kills respiratory syncytial virus, which is the nasty croup virus, is alcohol.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Which is why I alcohol wipe my stethoscope every single time.
Huh.
So, and the nice thing about the bacterial gels, the antibacterial gels, is they have alcohol.
No, okay.
So for a certain amount, that's good too. So the important thing is to keep the hands free. Now, you've got a toddler, put on a barrier on your clothing because your toddlers, if you have a runny nose, they're going to wipe their nose into your slacks, into your skirt, if you pick them up, it's going to go onto your blouse.
Yeah.
So, in the old days, women used to wear aprons all the time.
Yeah.
Not such a bad idea. Just be aware of that as an adult because you're going to get your kids' stuff anyway.
Okay, I have to ask you this. It's wintertime. It's cold outside. Obviously, bundle up your kids. But
don't overbundle them.
Don't overbundle them. Why do I need to bundle up my kids?
Well,
obviously it's because it's cold, but does it hurt your immune system to bundle up your kids?
Okay. The answer is yes and no.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the deal. In the winter, even here, the air is cooler. If the air is cooler, then it thickens the mucus that's in your nose. When your nose, the mucus thickens, it doesn't move as fast. It can't push the bacteria and the viruses out as much.
Okay.
That's why you get sick in the winter.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you get chilled, okay, you're going to shiver. If you shiver, you're going to breathe faster. If you breathe faster, you're going to move more viruses and bacteria in,
Which is bad.
which is not a great
Yeah.
idea.
I'm not a doctor, but I think that's bad.
Yeah. Also, at a certain degree of temperature for your body, your body needs a certain temperature base to be able to kill off bacteria. That's why you run a fever, which is why don't be so fast with the Tylenol and Motrin. Oh my God, you've got a temp of 100.4. Quick, give her Tylenol. No.
Let it burn a little bit.
Yes. Most bacteria and viruses are killed off by heat, which is why the opposite happens. The colder you get, the more they multiply.
Gotcha.
To a certain degree.
Okay.
Now, we're not poikilotherms. We're not like snakes who change their body temperature with whatever the outside environment is. But we can't, kids especially, because if you're feeding them properly, they don't have a lot of brown fat, which is the thing that you use to ward off the cold and to keep your inner temperature, core temperature normal. They can get chilled much more easily. They have a larger body surface area on their heads, which is why they need to wear hats. In the old days, nobody worried about that because in the 50s and 60s, everybody wore hats. But now nobody wears hats, but kids need to have hats because in an infant and a kid under age 1 year, close to half their body surface area is in their head.
Well, my kids have giant heads, too.
Yeah,
so-
right. But every kid is like that. So
Yeah.
you need to keep that covered, even if you don't bundle them as much down underneath, but it's the up on top that needs it.
Gotcha.
How do you know whether or not you bundle too much and too little? Is very simple. Feel their hands and feet. If the hands and feet are hot and sweaty, too much. If they're cool and slightly pale, not enough.
Okay.
That's
There you go.
easy enough to do.
Well, wealth of knowledge, once again, from Dr. Feldman. Dr. Shelley Feldman from Prima Pediatrics, giving you some tips on how to prepare your kids for the winter. Wash your hands, immune, and bundle up. There's our tips for now.
You got it.
I'm sure there's more. But give them a call, 424-9000, and maybe she'll give you some more. Or go to primapediatrics.net for more information. Thanks, Doc, for coming in again. Appreciate
My
you.
pleasure.